Do you sometimes feel that the environment around you affects you and that other people's energy lingers even when they're not around? In this video, I'm gonna go through with you why that is and how you can clear your energetic field using 3 powerful techniques. Hi, my name is Oscar and I help people raise their vibration and share their gift with the world. And in this video, I'm gonna go through with you 3 powerful techniques that you can use to clear your energetic field. Now, how I discovered these techniques has been like years and years of understanding that has been accumulated. And this morning, I sort of had forgotten them. But something happened that made me feel that, oh my God, the regular things that I normally do does not work. So a little bit of a backstory. I'm an emotional fitness coach. And I discovered how to use my method lying flat on the ground where people were walking around me, and I was scared shitless of what people would think of me. And in a moment, or after like a minute, then all that scaredness, all those emotions, all those thoughts were like evaporated. And I went on a long, long journey to discover what had really happened. And to come short with this, or like to summarize this story, basically what had happened is that because of my attention had been so focused inside of me and I felt this so hard, then my attention in itself has started to let go of the emotions. So one of the techniques that I help people use when letting go of emotion is, first of all, detecting what is the emotion, and then what are the thoughts, because the more specific we are, the better it is. So normally, just becoming aware of those things, those modalities, what is moving around in our energetic field, helps me or helps us to let go of a lot of things that affects us. But this morning, something just felt off. And I noticed it the moment that I stepped in through my door into my apartment. It was like this field that was like stuck, and it was almost like thoughts were intruding intruding in my space, and I couldn't really handle it. It's like I observed the thoughts and I'm like, I'm gonna let that go now. I can see what it is, but it just wouldn't let go. And then I remembered that there are other ways of going about this. And I'm sure that you've heard of people who do saging, right? They go around and like have, in Sweden we call it salvi or salvia or whatever, sage maybe, white sage, that you just do like this, right? To clear the energy that the shamans use, among other things. But the thing is that you can actually do this by your thoughts alone, with your intention. And I'm gonna get right into what that is and why that is. Have you ever heard of the first law of Hermeticism? That law is called mentalism. What mentalism essentially means is that everything that you can see taste, touch, hear, smell, and all other intuitive senses is thought. Everything around you that you see is thought. Nature is the thought of God or of the universe. But everything else that is created, phones, iPads, houses, everything, that in itself is thoughts made into physical reality by human beings. It has channeled through them and it appeared. Now what that means is that around us and in everything there are thoughts. There are thoughts of other people. And this means that most of the thoughts that you perceive inside of you are actually not yours. 90% of them are other people's, other fields that you've been affected by, and all of these things. But since many of us are not adept enough to see that aura or see that magnetic field that flows around us, because we do not observe it, because we do not perceive it, then we become affected by it. So what we then have to do is we have to increase our awareness around this. So for me, when I was sitting on my sofa and I looked at, oh, I feel this thought, I feel this emotion, but then that is inside of my body or a little bit around me, but then I expand my awareness out. And if you're really still, you can start detecting the different notions of how the place where you're sitting, standing, or being in feels. You can sense if there's stuckness or if there is flow. And by you first of all just sensing that means that you are starting to observe the bubble that is encapsulating you. And if you're observing the bubble, that means that you are no longer really affected by the bubble because you are in observation of it. Now the second thing is that once you start observing it, you can use your attention to say that the things that you perceive around you, that those thoughts, they are not yours and you want them to go away. So what I usually do then is that I stay very still and I start using my mind to perceive where in my environment are these thoughts. And as I start detecting them, I'm like, no, you're not supposed to be there. No, you're not supposed to be there. And it actually works. So anytime where you feel like, oh God, I do not know how to deal with this, start stilling yourself and start perceiving the environment you're sitting in. Because most likely there are thoughts that are there, that are lingering. Because there's something that's called the phantom effect. Have you ever heard of the phantom effect? It means that they noticed that for people who unfortunately had been through trauma, or trauma in the sense of physical trauma, which means that they lost a leg or an arm, they could still sense that arm even if it wasn't there. And that's because of how the field around it is still there. So the physical part is not there, the physical body, but the etheric body, the astral body, everything of that is there. And it's the same thing when you are in another person's aura, especially if there's powerful emotions and thoughts and everything. That's why it's very good, for instance, in your home, to have dedicated rooms to dedicated practices, to different practices, right? So your meditation is somewhere, your working is somewhere, your eating is somewhere, because they are all different ways that we're using our energetic field. So if you have a very dedicated room for energetic practices, that means you will step in to that room, and that room will elevate you, and it will be much more easier for you to dive into how those, dive into it and be able to do those meditation practices. So that's one thing, throwing it away. Another thing is also very interesting to take into account is that energy flows where attention goes. So any interaction that you're having with a person, you're actually giving your energy to them. So for instance, if you're a supporter or you have a tendency to really help other people, you can feel very drained because you've essentially given your energy to them. But by your intention, by you visualizing that energy from them coming back and coming to you in your solar plexus, in your Manipura chakra, that in itself is like you're claiming back your power. And it's the same thing if you're doing like this, you're recording a video, or you're writing on your iPad, or you're writing on a block of paper, because then you can take that energy in to your solar plexus again. That means that you're starting to reclaim the energy that you've put out. Thus, you will start feeling more energy flow back to you, because your attention and your intention has going back to you. And this goes also the other way. So if you feel that someone else's attention has been on you, you can say, no, I do not want that. So you visualize it going out from your solar plexus to that person. Because you are not obligated to keep their things, and they are not obligated to keep yours either. And we do not need it, but we need to become aware of the energetic exchange that we're doing. So this is sort of a higher level of understanding how our boundaries are interacting with our environment. And the third thing, have you ever heard of color therapy? Colors are very interesting. And I suggest that you, just listening to this video, take a moment and just still your mind, still yourself where you are right now, and then start visualizing and testing how different colors feels on you. Just testing how does it feel to have yellow feet, or orange hips. This may sound a little bit weird, but the thing is that colors can be looked as complex complexities of thoughts. And there's a reason why I wear colors, right? This yellow shirt, for instance, it puts me very much in contact with my willpower, with my capability of being able there and take action, even though it's imperfect. So you can use color to fill you up. So if you feel that you have a need of some kind, to not only use words or emotions, but colors. Because colors are essentially thoughts, and they are way more integrated thoughts. So you can play around with colors. Sometimes I put pink around me, and it's one of the most delicious feelings. And I think it might be because of men, you know, we learn, we grow up with blue and all of these things, but women often have pink things around them. Maybe that's just a cultural thing, but it also actually means that if we have blue around us, yeah, we're really very comfortable with blue and all of that, but maybe it's not what we need. We need pink. And that's why I feel it's so delicious to have it enveloping myself. So understand this, right? Your environment, detecting, seeing where these things are, and then using your mind to cast it out. Or, even better, you give it to some entity, right? You give it to God or whatever, to the universe, to Mother Earth, to clear it and let it go. And the second one is to give back energy to another and take back the energy that is yours. And that doesn't affect anyone. It just clarifies the boundaries. And the third one, color therapy. If you feel a need and a lack, try a certain color. See what happens as you're giving yourself that gift. You can also notice colors around others, or you can perceive yourself. Why am I attracted to that person? What color do I perceive them having? And then taking that color and putting it on yourself and see if you're neutralizing the attraction. That's a special game too. All right, guys, this was a very energetic way of looking upon the environment, but I want you to comment below, click the subscribe button, notification bell, and like this video, and tell me what your understanding is around this. That's it for today. Peace, love, and joy to all of you. Bye for now.